Welcome back to the BCS podcast, episode 12. I know it's been a while. A few things have happened since then. The last time we uploaded was on December 14th, 2023. So happy 2024. We missed the whole month of January. Not much has happened, but we'll get you up to speed from then. Chronologically involving our teams, I guess we could start with Mr. Cozy and his Cotton Bowl experience.
Hold on.
Potentially.
Don't we want to start with Michigan State and their bowl game?
Yeah, great bowl game.
Oh, man. We're already at the zingers. This is tough.
Anyways.
We did talk about them hiring a new coach. I don't know if that's happened since then. I don't know. Again, I literally don't remember the timeline.
Yeah, it already happened. Yeah,
it went great.
Yes.
Good episode on that. Make sure you check it out.
I will say this. There's a few things I'll say about it. Probably we should not have went or played in the bowl game or done any of that. Michigan State actually probably showed a better showing than us in a bowl game. Offense was terrible. Numerous rumors were swirling about certain coaches doing things. Won't get into those.
I think you can. They're gone now, right?
No.
One was gone. Never mind.
One's gone. We'll get there. Because that's where we'll start. But look, it was bad. We had a center on our team say that their bowl practices, they took like 5 of them serious, and they weren't even that hard. Didn't really use our time correctly. But you know what? It's what's needed. It is what was needed to be. I praise Hinsman through and through. He literally called out the coaching staff for being weak. Like, he called them out for being weak. If you have a player calling the coaches weak, then there's a culture problem. And I think it lit a fire under everyone's ass, and it was good. Man, the game was just awful. Lincoln Keyholes, from what I heard, did not practice one snap with the first teamers. It was Devin Brown's team. It was Devin Brown's game. It was all Devin Brown. And then he got hurt on like the second series of the game. And it was like, well, shit. I mean, at least he got a field goal out of it. And then our field goal kicker missed a field goal. And I mean, it was 3-0 going to the fourth quarter. Now, granted, there was like a second and goal from Missouri to start the fourth quarter. It was just bad. There was one bright spot in the whole thing. And Jack Sawyer. So he actually finally looked like the Jack Sawyer that everyone had wanted to see for X amount of years. And he was going up against a pretty decently good offensive tackle from Mizzou. So I'll say that was the bright spot. Other than that, good riddance to some players.
Yeah. I mean, you had Luther Burden, one of the better receivers in college football, do absolutely nothing until that one touchdown catch right at the end. So that helps. It was weird because for Michigan, I joked, watching it was like heroin in a weird sense, where it was great at the time. But I think the long-term comeback off of that game is interesting, because initially I thought it was going to be, because no one opted out, right? And I thought it was going to be the guys that didn't opt out are like, I'm not staying for this crap. Are you kidding me? But they all bought in, or were,
supposed
to get back in, which is fine. Michigan did the same thing last year.
Yeah.
And long term, this might be the start of the championship DVD type vibe, where it's like Michigan, every hype video started with, black and white JJ sucking versus TCU. This might be black and white Cotton Bowl into them doing some business next year, hypothetically. But, obviously I was on the plane flying to California when that happened, and I didn't have any service really. I could watch the game on like the screen. And I don't know, there's this weird thing where you can get notifications. Like when you only can send texts on flights, and you can get notifications though. You can receive them. Yep. So I put them on obviously for your game, and I got like one notification, and I was like, and it was at a halftime 3-0. I'm like, wait a minute. So I started watching the second half, and I was like, this is something else. But Devin Brown burnt the boats out of town, most likely. And, it kind of showed you needed a quarterback to bring in, and you did. Will Howard, what do we think?
Yeah. Well, we'll get to that. Don't worry.
Well, they didn't just bring in one. They brought in 2.
So. We'll
the second one's not as important right now. It's going to be.
No. They're all important. We'll get to it. I want you to go to your game. So go ahead and talk about
So
games.
After
Plural.
watching that, we flew out to the Rose Bowl. Pretty interesting experience.
First off, I need to pause there. Why did you say Rose Bowl like you were from Bama?
Oh, did I? I didn't mean to do that. I was just more saying it out for, I guess, effect. It was a good experience. It poured rain all week. On the drive out there was an earthquake. Very interesting experience. Stuff started shaking. We were in the car, so it didn't really matter. But, when I was on Twitter and I searched LA earthquake, I was like, oh, this is interesting. So, the earth was maybe rejecting Michigan being there. It is what it is. We were there. It rained. So it rained all week. So it was like kind of like muddy grass all around. And then we got there. We were with my good friend John Jansen and my family out there watching the game beforehand. It was funny because he had this white polo on. And those that don't know, John Jansen does the TV and the radio for Michigan. And he was playing catch with my little cousin. Her name's Lily.
No.
And she just was slinging this muddy ball. And John went full primal, football. And was just slinging it back and forth. And we're like, John, dude, your white polo.
You're going on TV.
Covered in mud. So he had to do a quick wardrobe change. Shout out Lisa for bringing some more stuff. And it was all great and fun. We met some of our cousins out there, a lot of people out there, some people from Twitter, of course. I met some out there. Ironically, now looking back on it, and at the time it kind of made sense, some law school kids or some Ross kids, I don't know if it's law school too, I don't know what the name is, but they rented out the huge tailgate guys for the Chargers. So I was very confused because right in front there was a massive Chargers tailgate. And I was like, what the hell? I'm like, so they're just trying to steal Jim. Like, what the hell are we doing here, guys? And they were like, no, we just, maize and blue-ish colors, obviously powder blue and yellow, but, we get what it is. And they read out the tailgate, and it was funny because it was like these guys are like, we're doing shots to life, man. And you just got like these shot skis of all these old Michigan people, like, grandparents doing shot skis. I was like, all right, I guess we're okay. In the tailgate scene, I would say it was 90% Michigan fans. I couldn't find an Alabama fan for trying. They're all walking around in their Lank shirts, which is very funny. Shout out Pat McAfee for that. It was pretty interesting.
Yeah. And, speaking of Lank, I'm walking around campus today, and I got on the bus, and some kids wearing a Lank, Alabama shirt, and I'm like, what the hell? What's going on? Where did this come from?
By the way, Blake had same experience, even in New Orleans on Bourbon Street.
There's none of them.
It was all Ohio State fans. Like, before the game kicked off, it was all – I'm like, are we going to outdraw them as a fan base? Like, in New Orleans, no less?
Yeah, I know. At least for us, it was – half of California and Michigan grads. So we were there. I think it ended up being – like 70% Michigan fans. Because like our entire side there was like one family behind us was Bama fans. And I was like, you guys, I'm sorry in advance. Like, it's bad.
I really want to know if in the future, with the playoff being the Rose Bowl, if a Big Ten team makes it, are they going to continue and sit the Big Ten fans where they always sit the Big Ten fans? Because
I think they'll try.
Okay. Because we always have the same end zone. We always have that one side that is facing the mountains.
Correct.
In the distance.
I think they'll try. I mean, like, I'm sure the Rose Bowl, because like they were the assholes, if you will, that didn't let playoff expansion happen initially, and now they kind of signed on board. I'm pretty sure that they're gonna have their pick of who they want first. That's just my guess. I think they even scheduled next year the afternoon game. So, like, you'll still get the sundown type deal.
Yeah, it's still the same time.
The next 2 years, they have a semifinal game. So they are at the noon. They are at the 4 o'clock, whatever. Yes.
Because going forward, the New Year's 6 will be round 2 and 3 of the playoff, which is
correct.
Crazy.
Yes.
I looked at the schedule the other day. We have 2. I think it's Tuesday, Thursday, or it's like Tuesday, Wednesday, and then next week it's like Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Friday.
It's crazy with the way the holidays work.
So he just to clarify this. So when there are the games on January 8th and 9th, I think it is, or whatever it is, on that Thursday, Friday, on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday is the NFL wildcard playoff weekend.
Exactly.
So it literally goes right in a row, 5 days of football.
Let's go.
Yeah. And I think it was Joel Klatt actually was talking about it, and with Josh Pate, that they should put the college football national championship on Saturday of wildcard weekend.
Yes.
Kind of like parlay it into it. That would be sick.
I do have a question for you. Was this your first trip to the Rose Bowl?
Yes.
Okay.
The last time we played, or last time we won, was in here. But the last time, other than that, was like 2003 or 4. It was Braylon Edwards was playing.
No, I thought you guys played one other time than that.
Nah, I think it was like 2004 or 5.
Didn't you guys play
A
Texas?
long time ago. 2006, I think, Texas. I don't know. I was like 6. Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, so what was your first thought growing up in the Midwest and seeing the Rose Bowl for the first time?
It felt like a Disney movie when you were in the stadium. The way the lighting and everything worked.
Yep.
It wore off pretty quickly when I ran out to go to the restroom, and one of them already flooded, and like the entire concourse was shut down. And it was so funny because it was just these Bama chicks in their knee-high boots just trying to like get through it, being like, "Yo, there's just shit everywhere," and they were just not happy. Other than that, it was annoying. But when we got in, it was great. Sat down in our seats, took it all in. We lose the toss, take the field goal or take the ball below first play, interception.
Yeah,
I don't think anyone understands how bowl games work better than my mother. Because she's even joking with John before the game. She goes, "We suck in bowl games," and he's just like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa." He like almost took offense to it, and she was just like, "Yeah, we suck. We always lose. It always happens." She goes, "I've been to 4 Rose Bowls. We're like 2-1 or like 1-2. We get smoked every time." And the first play happened, and the collective like feeling in people openly said this, including myself, was, "Holy shit, here we go again."
Yeah.
I mean, it could not have been a worse thing. And obviously you've been there, Cozy. I think the screen is the size of maybe an iPhone. So I didn't know what was going on.
It's literally the smallest screen. And like, I got the same feeling. And look, here's the thing. It's the same stadium that it's been for the past. So like, it's been since like 2010 since I've been there, like January 1st, 2010. It flooded bathrooms. I do like the bleacher seating. Like obviously Ohio Stadium's
Big Ten bleacher.
Yeah. But it's like, it is almost like, I remember we walked over the hill and we saw the Rose Bowl sign and we're like, "Oh shit, like this is it." And then you get inside and it's like, "Oh, this is so cool." And like, it was a Disney movie kind of thing. Like, it's like, this is so cool. We're at the Rose Bowl. Like, this is awesome. And then it does kind of wear off. But the one
for me, it was one play.
Yeah. The one thing I will say is I miss, and I was upset that I didn't have the opportunity because there was a nice sunset on the mountains, but my seats were in the end zone, so I couldn't see the mountains. And all of a sudden, during a TV timeout, there was all these light bulbs going off and like phones flashing and everything, like going nuts. And it was like, wait, what's going on? And like, then they did show that on the big screen, and like, we understood like, oh, that's pretty cool. But like the screen is like what, 1980s at the earliest.
Max. It is literally the size of a desk monitor. It's crazy.
Like it's ridiculous. Like it's like, you can't see replays. You can't really tell what's happening. It's not a great, like, if an NFL team played there, oh my gosh, people would be like freaking out. Like,
yeah. So we then went 3 and out.
Yep.
They went 3 and out. Then we had more problems. Our good friend Samaj Morgan, another young player making mistakes, unfortunately, from West Bloomfield, Michigan. Shout out to Samaj. Yes, that Samaj that did the Instagram live after the Ohio State game, calling out every single player for being a bitch, I believe was the term. Basically what happened, that we fumbled. They scored like 3 plays later, which was interesting because the only person that no one talked about the entire game was Jace McClellan, who I drafted in the first round of our fantasy league, who didn't do a thing all season except score 2 touchdowns on like 100 yards against Michigan. Great. I was like, this is just how everything works. And I was like, they're going to get the ball at half. We're down. This is beautiful. Then we went on an absolute FU drive. 10 plays, 75 yards, including the now viral clip of Caleb Downs getting absolutely ragdolled by our fullback. It is what it is. Which, again, John Jansen was not happy about as a former offensive lineman. Thought it was a very soft call, but it is what it is. Welcome to the Big Ten, buddy. Where we saw Blake Corum catch one of like 3 balls in this game. I think they said in this game and Washington, he doubled his receptions for the season because he does not catch the ball in the backfield. It just is what it is. Like, I know, obviously, you being a Browns fan, I'd say it's closer to Nick Chubb, where it's like you throw the ball to Hunt and you're handing the ball off to Chubb. There's no passes. And obviously, later in the game, it came into pretty effect. The rest of the game, it was a Big Ten kind of like field out title prize fight. It was like touchdown. Everyone's like, whoa, we're gonna have a lot of points. I think the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 drives were all punts. So that was a bit annoying. And then, in classic Michigan fashion, we have a unbelievably insane trick play. Maybe one of the best plays I've ever seen someone make, probably a bit over dramatic. The Lions attempted doing it against the Niners last week, and Jared Goff, unfortunately, is not even close to as athletic as JJ. So it was they did the screen toss to Donovan. He turns around, he throws it. JJ one hand stabs it, no laces, throws it down the field, Rowan Wilson, before getting destroyed by Dallas Turner, who had one tackle on the game, basically, and was that one. So maybe, I don't think Dallas Turner should get drafted in the first round. God forbid he falls to the Lions. And after that, Tyler Morris, has 4 catches in the season, just casually burns Kool-Aid McKinstry, another bad player who shouldn't go in the first round, definitely shouldn't follow the Lions. Skins him alive and scores. They then went down and kicked a 50-yard field goal because their kicker actually is good. Another guy that should be in the Lions. I'm really finding a lot of guys that should be in the Lions here, Zach. It's crazy.
On the same team. It's almost like they've came here for the past couple of years. It's almost like these
everyone else. Let's keep going. Second half, kind of a feeling out type deal. They finally had another breakthrough with another muffed punt. Crazy how that works. They ended up getting through with another touchdown. Jalen Milroe, what was it? No, it was McClellan scored again. So second touchdown there. Then they had another punt. And then the big turnaround came. This was the point where they finally took the lead. I think it was the longest Michigan trailed all season. I think it was 8 minutes consecutively. Jalen Milroe was Jalen Milroe and just had an unexplicable fumble. I mean, dude it was like he got sniped from Call of Duty. He was just walking, all of a sudden, boom, ball just fell out. And Josh Rolfs was there, transfer from UMass, shut out the portal. I mean, you have a kid that was playing for Don Brown's defense last year at UMass. Now he's getting a fumble in the Rose Bowl. Shut out the portal. And then it's like, okay, here we go. 3 and out. You're settling for a 50-yard field goal, and special teams once again screws up the snap, misses. Great. They walk down and they kick another field goal, and you're like, okay, here we go. Down 7. How do you respond? I want to get the exact play calls right. Blake Corum run for 4 yards. Blake Corum run for 4 yards. 3rd and 2. Dump off to Colson Loveland. A little questionable, but he drops it. And so it's 4th and 2 with 3 minutes left, and Michigan's got 3 timeouts.
This is the play of the game where Alabama was just stupid. They were just stupid. Alabama was so dumb on this play.
I understand, and it's crazy because we ran the same play twice. This was the exact play we ran to run a touchdown earlier in the game. But I thought, did you guys think Michigan was going for it? I thought it was Dan Campbell on the call. I was like, what the hell are we doing?
Yeah, that didn't make sense.
I mean, weird. 3 minutes and 19 seconds left, 3 touchdowns, and we're going for it on our own 40-yard line.
Yeah, it was kind of a risky play. That could have been the play of the game, and
I was freaking out because Blake Corum obviously gets the ball in the backfield, catches it, runs, 50 yards, and then Roman Wilson's a block in the back, and I was like, okay, are they going to call it unnecessary roughness or a block in the back? With unnecessary roughness, everything comes back, and it's 4th and 17. Thankfully, he was blocking the back. It was a very dumb block because Blake could have maybe even housed the damn thing. But it is what it is. Next play, J.J. McCarthy, a theme of the next game as well. Super clutch, just 15-yard run up the gut, run up the sideline. Gets absolutely assaulted out of bounds. No flag. It is what it is. SEC gets their calls. It is what it is. They hate the Big Ten. Come on. And then Roman Wilson, next play, pass complete for 29 yards. This pass was heavily deflected and still goes straight into Roman's hands. My best part was for me was, so they were coming towards my end zone, right? So I had the good angle on this, and he tips it, and I jump to the ground like, fuck, we just screwed up. We're so screwed. And everyone goes nuts. And I look up and I go, wait, he caught that thing? Yes. And this is when you started to feel the whole America's team, God wills it type deal, you do as a psychopathic fan, right? At this point, I'm like, we just had a crazy 4th down go away. We've had 6 fumbles. It is what it is. We go down and we end up scoring a touchdown. Roman Wilson, a little toss pass. It was sick. 3 and out. This is when the whole timeout standoff began because it was, what was it here? It was 3rd and 10, and Milroe passes it for like 8 yards. They get close. I'm like, okay, who calls the timeout? So Michigan calls the timeout. All right, 54 seconds left. They punt the ball. As they're about to punt the ball, Samaj Morgan has fumbled 2 punts. So let's put in the 5th-year senior catching like his 3rd punt of the season.
No, he muffed every single one the whole year.
And he comes in. I would like to think it's like, hey, dude, you're standing on the 10-yard line. Anything over your head, let it go. No, he stands back, fair catches it on like the 2-yard line, muffs the damn thing, and from our perspective, it's a safety. Right? Because that's our far end zone.
It most definitely looked like a safety.
It was that close to being safety.
But for us, it's our far end zone. So I'm like, we're done. This is game over. I'm like, I literally looked at myself, looking myself like, I don't know, like third person, almost like looking down, was like, this is some sick shit. Like, as like a Michigan Detroit sports fan, that might have been the worst collapse in the history of college football. I think that's allowed for me to say. Like, we came all the way back, and they lose on this damn thing because it was, 30 seconds left. Then what does Michigan do? We take a knee. Then they call a timeout. Then the next play, we take a second knee to end the game. Then we call a timeout.
Yeah, it was so confusing.
We're on the inch line.
Yeah,
and I'm like, what are we
forward to keep
are we point shaving?
They had to push JJ out of the end zone.
Yeah. Thankfully, we knew it and go to overtime. And I was like, okay, here we go. I'm like, overtime was very much suits what we were doing, right? Because Milroe's obviously unbelievable between the 50s, right? Or between the red zones, right? Because he can scramble and do his thing. Yeah. Now you can at least spy him, and hopefully people will actually stay on their spy and not get aggressive. I mean, because he was just running through people. Seeing Milroe in person, again, apologies for like the lazy comparison. Dude's a running back / fullback. He looks like Derrick Henry out there. Dude's like 6'3", big. And like he had linebackers bouncing off him that were killing people all year. Like, to see how big that dude was, my goodness. We get into overtime. First play, run the ball right. And then the second play, we held triangle and then hit right trigger. And we flipped the play, ran the same play. Maybe my favorite play of all time. Blake Corum goes on an insane play. Dude rips off like 4 broken tackles. And then cool for Michigan fans was when he's celebrating, one of the linemen rips him like this, like, and holds his jersey like this. And he looks exactly like Trey Burke did after drilling that shot against Kansas. And we're like, whoa, that was sick. So then you do that. You then get down to like 3rd and 10 for them, 3rd and goal, right? I think it was literally like, they think they could have gotten a first down like the middle-inch line. I don't know. I think they called it goal, though. And Jermaine Burton, great play. Him and Josh Walls were going at it all game. Jermaine Burton, I want to give him a sick shout-out because Jermaine Burton's season highlight last year was assaulting a Tennessee sorority girl. This year, he had 4 catches for 21 yards. And before the game, he said there's, quote, nothing but murder on my mind. And he showed up and had 4 catches for 21 yards. Sounds like murder for me. So he does his whole thing. It is what it is, right? Great play. People were calling for pass interference. They realize they have no timeouts, so he flops and, holds his hammy or whatever, and then they get a free injury timeout. And then maybe the most suspenseful play of my entire life. It's what, 4th and 2, 4th and 3.
4th and yeah.
There was an injury timeout, into a Saban timeout, into a Michigan timeout, into a second Michigan timeout. Yeah. So it was maybe 5 minutes of just like,
and like, if you take some of the looks that Alabama had, if they would have ran it before getting timeouts called, they probably would have got in because they had some great plays in time.
They would have actually got in had he followed his blocker. He just didn't follow his blocker. Yeah.
Final but play. They had like a sweep that they were ready to run where they were going to like make a sweep and then just quarterback keep. And I think it would have got in because it would have distracted because you could see the whole play, like the Michigan players shift over like with the motion and then fucking, pardon my French, Harbaugh running out there calling a timeout. It's like, this is not right. We're not doing this.
Vertical for you right there. Because he wears the cleats on the sideline. So then they run the play, motion's out right, and Milroe's going, and you're like, okay, here we go. All of a sudden, like the damn Kool-Aid man in Family Guy,
he just
Josiah Stewart, right, Coastal Carolina transfer. Mind you, the two biggest defensive players of the game, right? By UMass and a Coastal transfer. Dude was hanging out with Smokes in Myrtle Beach, and now he's in the Rose Bowl ragdolling their right tackle. I think it was the J.C. Latham kid who's going to go top 10 in the draft.
Yep.
Just throws him out the club and just blows the entire play up because he probably could have snuck through there. It would have been him versus Mike Barrett in the gap, and I don't know who I want there because Milrose a freaking freight train. And I firmly believe that was the best Michigan game I've ever seen. Really close with 2021 Ohio State, just purely because we didn't beat you in freaking 10 years. So that was pretty sick. But the finality of it, because they were so quick on those fireworks, like instant fireworks, instant, what's it called? Goalpost down. I was like, oh my God, the Michigan fans rush the field, rip the goalpost down. And someone's like, no, idiot, they took him down. I'm like, okay, fine. But it was insane. The Bama coward bandwagon fans they were quiet the entire game until they were leading. And as Trevor Keegan so eloquently said, played that Dixieland Delight bullshit. Very happened. They did play both teams' songs with a little bit of flashing lights. So they at least tried to kind of up the ante. But Michigan won. I was relatively confident. I think we outplayed them the entire time. We were absolutely dominating the first half, in my opinion.
Yeah,
and
the second half.
The scary
really
part was
close.
it's like we're taking a 3 or 6 point lead, something like that, into the half against Nick Saban, who's like the greatest adjuster of all time. And I'm like, this is less than ideal.
Yeah, there was a chance that Alabama could have put their foot down, and it was about, I don't know, let's say the second half of the third quarter and the first half of the fourth quarter. I'm pretty sure from that stretch, Michigan had 37 total yards for about 12 minutes. Like, they did not move the ball at all. They kept three and out. And like Alabama had multiple opportunities and they just threw it away. Like we
were outgaining them like crazy in the first half. And then nothing in the third quarter.
Yeah, there was like nothing. They just did not take advantage of anything.
But yeah, it was unbelievable. And, it was nice. Hung out afterwards, just like pure emotion. Like I may or may not have cried a lot. It is what it is. It just happened. I like looked down. It was just like tears. I was like, fair enough. Then you quickly had to realize we still had another game to play. And then we went into the Cotton Bowl. I straight up didn't watch 90% of this game. So I was listening to it on Sirius Radio in traffic coming home from Pasadena. So I don't know if you guys did. Or not Cotton Bowl.
Yeah.
Sugar Bowl.
Yeah, it was just a
Sugar Bowl.
Yeah,
Any thoughts?
It was just a shootout. I mean, there wasn't much defense played. And
I never felt like Washington was threatened by Texas.
Yeah,
so
it wasn't
what was
really
Texas doing? They were running the ball well and then just stopped.
They wanted to beat Washington through the air, pretty much. That's all it was. And yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much it.
I didn't know what was going on because like it seemed like every time Washington had the ball, they were just airing that thing out whenever they wanted, wherever they wanted. And I mean, I watched the highlights afterward. Penix was dealing. Now looking back on the week up to the game, obviously I was like, Michigan's going to kill him no matter what. I understand why so many people were like, wait a minute, this Penix dude can sling it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he did whatever he wanted. He had time. I think there was some crazy stat that Josh Pate said that he had like 12 throws of over 20 air yards. That's insane.
Yeah, a little bit.
It was like a video game. And but we got to talk about the end of the game. That part I did watch. The last like 5 minutes.
Yeah, the last what was happening?
Teams just love to not knee. Is it just a Pac-12 thing? Is that what it is? Bar Miami?
Welcome to them coming to our conference because
they didn't like
what the hell was that? They were up 9 points with a minute 30 left and like one timeout and had a chance to lose in regulation.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, Dylan Johnson gets hurt every play. But, dude, unless you are dead, you stand there for the knee. It's very simple. And he was very hurt. They punt it. They then tap the punter for no reason. He gets the thing down. And this game just got nuts. And I don't understand how it got close. Shout out to the great defense on the goal line by the kid to end the game. But Big red flag for our good friends in the SEC potentially. Imagine if he lost that game as a Bama head coach.
Oh,
brother.
They would have ran him out of town.
God. And
then, that's an interesting one. Yeah.
And then we led up to the our good friends over in Houston.
Yep.
Now this game was very interesting for Houston. Similarly, the weather was horrible. I want you to ready for this one. I wore ponchos to an indoor stadium. How about that, right? So we walked in. It was interesting because it was like 65 and sunny. It was chilling. And then 5 minutes later, it was 50 degrees and raining sideways, like straight up. And I was like, okay, this is great. We get in the stadium. It is what it is. Again, it's like 90% Michigan fans because it was our championship game. Thankfully, didn't have to deal with Texas fans. And we'll cross that bridge next year. So we get there. We do our thing. It is what it is. I was not worried in the slightest at almost any point in this game. I don't know if that was me being arrogant, but shout out big game Donovan. Just shows up when it's good. I jokingly said before the game we were going to run for 300 yards because they were like the second worst defense we faced. Michigan State had the same ranking of defense as them leading into that game, so I was just not worried. And ran it down their throat. I mean, we had 200 yards of rushing in the first quarter. I don't know if that's ever been done before. I think they said it hasn't, so it is what it was. Yeah. I mean, I don't have as many thoughts on this game. The Rose Bowl is my championship. Looking back on it, like this game was just kind of a formality. I know it was kind of close for a bit. I mean, we were like only up 7, like in the second half, but they just couldn't get anything going. I mean, the defensive fronts we were throwing at this guy, Minter was having people in hell. Wait till Mahomes has to deal with a Minter defense. That's all I'm saying. He won't have the horses, but Derwin James will be an absolute assassin on that team next year. But yeah, like we won. You know, it is what it is. Like it was kind of anticlimactic because we were killing them at the end. But the pick 6 was insane. I did post it on my channel. I may or may not have been assaulted by a kitten during that highlight. But it was a great experience. I got to watch it. My grandfather. This would be his 3rd national championship. He was at the 1948 game, which is pretty badass. So it was pretty cool. And just the emotion of everyone around, it was pretty cool. Because it seemed like pretty much everyone that we were around was with family. My little cousin went to his first game. So out of the little cousins in my family, 3 of them's first college games, 2 of them, their first game ever was a Rose Bowl. And one of the lucky kid, his first game ever was a Michigan National Championship. And I was like, this kid has no idea how lucky he is. So I have this weird thing I do at games. This is going to sound wickedly creepy, but it is what it is. I make sure to high five every single Michigan child that I see at these games. With the Ohio State game, I did it. With the Rose Bowl game, I did it. And with this game, I was like high fiving, and it was what it was. Another thing I like to do is I take a photo for everyone. Like people will be taking selfies, like, no, I got you. So I was just doing it, made sure everyone gets the memories because Lord knows it's going to be a while before we probably get back. That's just me being truth serum right now. Because everything after January 8th or 9th, one of the two, I don't know, was a bit of chaos. And I'm sure we can get in it from there. But any closing thoughts? I know we got a blind mice guy down there, but any closing thoughts on the game?
No, I mean, it was everything that a Michigan fan yourself would want. The game was kind of close at one point. Not really. I mean, Michael Penix was in hell. It was kind of obvious from the beginning. He was getting smoked. So the defense didn't play anybody. Narrative was dead at the end. You could tell that.
The legitimate tweet was out there and talk from people that they're like, you're lucky that Kyle McCord, Jalen Milroe, and Penix decided to have their worst game against Michigan.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I understand because when you think about games, right, in your brain, this is just me. I don't know if this is everyone else, but this is just me. Even as a Big Ten fan, right, you don't think about defensive turnovers or stops, right? You just think of the offenses. And I understand, right? I was like, we're going to run for 1 billion yards, and we're just going to hope Penix misses some throws or doesn't score a billion touchdowns. Only scored 1, which is crazy. But it was just like, we need to stop them the entire time. And it's hard to visualize it. I remember my exact line before the Alabama game was, we're going to win. I don't know how yet. And it was just kind of one of those things. So, I mean, defense wins championships. I did say earlier, I think this might be the greatest national championship in the history of college football, considering the circumstances that we won one of the 3 national championships in the 4-team NIL era, right? Georgia being the other 2, who very clearly was buying players before it was legal and now, as not documented with Darnell Washington, right? He got paid $100,000 in the NCAA filings. Again, for Tennessee, paid him $100,000. Mind you, he went to Georgia, so I want you to think about that one. That was a few seasons ago. But you look at Michigan, we had Roman Wilson on one of the biggest stages talk about how he's not making any money and he didn't get what he was promised and he should be making more. That's wickedly embarrassing. Now looking back on it, it's like, dude, you're on the Rose Bowl press conference and you're talking about how you're poor because no one's giving you any money. That's such a bad look. So, and then let alone what was going on with the front office. I mean,
now he's doing it himself. So yeah, I mean the game was the game, and now we're into the 2024-2025 season. The first 12 team, the expanded Big Ten, all the big things that are happening.
Congratulations to you.
Yeah,
thank you, sir.
Yeah, and so let's start off with where we're at right now.
But now it's time to talk about. All the good stuff that has happened, and we are back, baby. Michigan was Thanos, and he went, and now we're just loading back up.
Yeah, so
Bill O'Brien.
Let's start at the.
I'm all happy about Bill O'Brien.
The big thing we could just.
You guys love it. I love it. Only outside the red zone is I'm gonna hate it. Is inside the red zone. That's it. Other than that,
it's not like Ohio State has had red zone issues before this, and now we have them even worse.
We have, which is fine. Which is fine.
We could just go through a quick.
But we loaded up
on the coaching
with
changes.
Who'd you load up with?
Do we want
a guy that lost to Michigan, a guy that fought as offensive coordinator and won't get helped up by his offensive lineman, a center that cannot snap.
That's not gonna play center. That's not going to play center. So Hinsman will be the starting center.
We had him seeing ghosts.
Hinsman will be playing center. You will have McLaughlin at right guard. And Luke Montgomery is going to be your right tackle. So Fryer's probably out and gone. And then I'm going to say, okay, so I actually think Ian Moore is going to come in and he will be a freshman starter at left guard for us. Left tackle for us. That is my hot take of the offseason. I think Simmons gets replaced by Ian Moore, the freshman. And then you have the returning player, Donovan Jackson. And I mean, here's the other thing. You got to remember, everyone that we thought we were dead, everyone thought, oh man, they sucked at the Missouri game. Everyone's leaving. This team is in shambles. We keep Jeremiah Smith. We get Edric Houston. We keep him. I mean,
that was a wild day, by the way.
Oh, that was nuts. That whole day with everyone.
I'm glad he, in a weird way, I'm glad he committed to you because we haven't had a true recruiting, oh my God, in a long time. And that I literally gasped when I saw it. I was like, holy shit, he actually stayed.
So, I mean, you get Aaron Scott to sign on. Everyone forgets Mylan Graham is a 4-star wide receiver coming in. So everyone forgets about him. So you got Aaron Nolan. Obviously, we all
Bryce
know
West sucks.
Also, two names to remember is there's twins from Lakewood St. Ed's, Devontae and Deontay Armstrong. I think they're going to be the anchor of our line in 2 years. So
names. That's pretty sick.
Yeah, that's pretty sick.
Yeah, up there with Amon-Ra Equanimous.
They're twin brother. They're twin brothers from Lakewood, Ohio. So
are they both offensive linemen or D linemen?
No, they're offensive linemen. They're going to play. I think they're going to be left tackle and left guard. To be honest with you,
pretty good chemistry built in.
That's interesting. That's an interesting situation.
You guys took the other tackle from St. Ed's, so
correct.
So look, and then you go over the transfer portal, and here's the thing: We have not used the transfer portal at all. Literally haven't used it. We never use it. We might get 1 or 2 players. And now all of a sudden, Will Howard, new starting quarterback. McLaughlin, going to play right guard. I think this guy might be pretty good. Caleb Downs, not sure about him. It might.
He got thrown out of the club, and he man-guarded Corum on both plays where Corum went for a touchdown and a 60-yard game.
Hey, that's fine. I mean, we're just going to say
unbelievable. I can't
Trey
even.
Henderson coming back.
Yeah.
Quinshawn Judkins might
my
be better
favorite player in college football on offense and defense on my team, both of them with the goddamn Buckeyes. I'm in such a juxtaposition here.
Yeah, like they're the best 2 players.
I've openly talked about how I think Judkins is like the best player of all time.
Running the back. But seriously, and it's funny. Someone actually said this to me. I put a tweet out as soon as we started getting all these players. As soon as we got Downs, I'm like, Avengers assemble, all that. Put the GIF out there. I said Michigan was like Thanos. And 30 minutes later, Ohio State football, what do they tweet out? The Avengers assembling. And I'm just like, we're running with this. We're running with this.
Judkins committing while we're winning a national championship was nasty business.
That literally just
I wonder how much more Ryan Day's like, yo, tweet this right now.
No joke. As soon as you guys won, it was tweeted out 2 minutes after the game was done.
And then the Michigan State tweet was walk-on tryouts. I was like, you guys need to learn social media. Like, what are we doing here?
Wait, we had this like 2 days ago. We tweeted it.
Wait a day, guys.
We only tweeted it like 2 days ago.
No, it was Ohio State did. Sorry. Ohio State did that and then followed up with Judkins. So it was a good save.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you had that.
Are you worried about the trenches still? Because your O-line.
I am not, because of people coming in. Luke Montgomery, McLaughlin coming in. Like I said, Ian Moore coming in. Hinsman. I still like Hinsman at center. I liked Hinsman at center. I think he's going to stay there. Even though like early predictions say McLaughlin's going to play center, I don't think that's going to be the deal. Am I worried about the trenches on the defensive side? No, not really, because you get Tyleik Williams back. Ty Hamilton played well. You have Hero Canoe, who when he played, he was fine, but he just didn't play enough. I mean, and here's the other thing. Look, okay, Eichenberg was great for what he was. He was never
a top tier against Michigan.
He did.
I'll say it for you. He sucked. You're happy he's gone.
He was awful. Look, I mean, now you get Sonny Styles probably going to move to linebacker. Cody Simon is not going to miss any time on the field. You have CJ Hicks and Gabe Powers that are probably going to be rotating linebackers in. I mean, we are pretty much too deep at just about everything. And it's just ridiculous. Some people don't realize this, but Igbinosa is back. And I thought he was lost eligibility, but apparently he has 1 more year left. Did I miss something there?
When my ex linebackers coach, Mr. Partridge, recruited him to Ole Miss. And now he's back.
So that, I mean, you have Denzel Burke back, you have Hancock back, you have Sonny's brother, Lorenzo, you have, I mean, Bryce West and Aaron Scott are going to come in. Plus we have other guys behind them, like Jermaine Matthews Jr., Calvin Simpson Hunt. I mean, the defense is stacked even if we get injured. That's the other thing. And so it's the only main place. If you have an injury on the offensive line, I'm going to get worried. But if there's no injuries on the offensive line, this team is a well-oiled machine, prepared to go to Oregon and play. It's going to be a tough matchup. It is going to be a gauntlet of a matchup. And then you have Michigan, and you have at Penn State. Am I really worried about at Penn State? No. But with Bill O'Brien coming in, new position coaches, new safeties coach is already doing wonders. And I don't know if you've heard him talk, but he strikes fear in you. And it's awesome. It is an awesome striking of fear in you. And I fucking love it. So excited for this. We have a great recruiting class coming in, like I said. I am going to say this right now, and here's my other prediction. My only other prediction that I have is The biggest recruit that we're going to look back on, or one of the biggest recruits that's not really being talked about, is William Kaczmarek, the tight end from Ohio. So they didn't use him that often. He's a good blocker. He had, I want to say he only dropped 2 passes the whole year. They only targeted him 22 times, and he caught 20 passes, and the other 2 were drops. Well, take that back. 1 was a deflection and 1 was a drop. He's a very sure-handed catcher. We love to use our tight ends. Bill O'Brien loves to use the tight ends. I'm not a big fan of G. Scott for various reasons. So
I love G. Scott, for the record, just like I love Quay Walker on the Packers.
Yeah, Quay Walker's my favorite.
Anyways, we will talk about that. And here's what the other thing is, and I think Blake, you can attest to this. Does Michigan win the game in Ohio Stadium this year?
I mean, I think, first of all, I can barely give you an answer right away. Obviously, a lot going on with my program.
A lot of time we got.
I will say,
I'm saying,
underdog for a reason.
I'm saying that this 2023 teams played in Ohio Stadium. Do you guys come into Ohio Stadium and win this game?
What do you mean?
Like, do you win last year's game if it's a home game for Ohio State? Because I think crowd had a lot to do with momentum.
I think we win regardless.
Huh?
I think we win regardless, personally.
Okay, I don't. See, I think there was a big momentum swing in that game. And it unfortunately happened when your injury happened.
Oh, yeah,
that was the momentum swing of the game. Like, that was the momentum swing. If it's at Ohio Stadium, I don't think that momentum swing happens.
Potentially, yeah. But I thought you meant this year. I'm like, there's a reason why we're a touchdown underdog, and we can get into that in a minute.
Yeah, I mean, we can go talk about your program now in their off season since
let's have Zach check in. So he's been just sitting here watching us gloat. I feel like really bad.
No, it's all right. I wanted to first bring up all the hires, the changes in the Big Ten, so you can just go through it all.
For sure.
So the main one, Jed Fish, our boy Jed Fish, is now coaching at Washington. So that's an interesting one. Unfortunately, we have to play him now.
Rude, man. Why did he leave?
I don't know.
He
lost his quarterback.
12. I don't know what the hell he's doing.
Northwestern, after their miraculous great season, hired David Braun to continue.
Again, shout out Northwestern. They had the season that Colorado fans will tell you, or they had the season that Colorado thought they had.
Yeah. Indiana, Kurt Sig from James Madison.
We play him back-to-back, Cozy, and he mentioned us by name that he's going to beat us. And someone joked that we could hang 100 on him.
I just look how he's new here. He's new here. He doesn't know. Like,
no. And you play us back-to-back, and you call us out by name. Like, what do you want me to do?
It's going to be a beatdown. Both games are just going to be absolute beatdown.
He almost short-circuited because then he went right back to, oh, yeah, Purdue sucks too. Yeah. Like, yeah, dude, stay in your lane, big dog. You like Purdue and Illinois suck.
Yeah, so that was the 3 main ones that happened in the off season, other than ours, of course. Jonathan Smith, the last one.
Sharon Moore.
No, we'll get into that. You can go, you can talk about that. I'm leaving that for you. Which the most recent shocking one. But yeah, I mean, transfer portal. We of course, Aiden Childs, new quarterback coming in, bringing in the Jonathan Smith offense.
No longer number 1. You can't tweet that anymore, Michigan State fans.
I guess. I don't know. Brings in his tight end, Jack Belling, as also another Oregon State player, and one of the offensive linemen, Tanner Miller, who was second team All Pac-12 last year. So that's a good start. Another offensive lineman, all is it FBS, FCS, Holy Cross offensive lineman, Luke Newman, I think he's a grad student, so that's going to be pretty big. A couple defensive player, one from Georgia Tech, one from Old Dominion, and then a backup quarterback to fill the room. My boy Tommy Schuster, I used to watch him in high school. He graduated right after I did, so it was cool to watch him play then. Because he only played about 15 minutes down the road. Was very electric, had 85 or so touchdowns with North Dakota, and he was with one other school, I'm pretty sure, or maybe it was just them, which is pretty cool. Just kind of challenged the room, add some competition, and then a linebacker from Wisconsin, Jordan Turner. But of course, we just had our class, couple 4-stars, Nick Marsh and Rustin Young, top 2 players, 1 and 2 in their respective states. The number 1 player in Hawaii, which is pretty cool because there used to be a pretty big Hawaii to MSU pipeline at one point, I know, which is cool to kind of bring back. And we got 2 players from Hawaii, the number 1 and the number 4. So that'll be pretty cool if we can kind of bring that back. But exciting times. We'll see what happens. Especially, we can talk more about it in the spring. The spring practices start in about a month or so, maybe a little bit less time. And then the spring game is less than 2.5 months away. So we'll see how it goes for our respective teams. And Blake, we'll pass it to you with the big news of the week.
So yes.
Do you need my sunglasses? Do you need my sunglasses? You can borrow them. You can borrow my sunglasses if you want.
I mean, I have my old Oakleys, but that's about it. I don't know. So we got
stuff.
Mr. Harbaugh is now gone. A lot of emotions, clearly. I have been a bit on an island. Me and our good friend PSU TK talk about this a little bit. This year-to-year, like Harbaugh flirtation in the NFL was absolutely hosing momentum. I want you to think in a vacuum. You're a high school kid. You like Michigan. You're in the state. You're a 5-star quarterback. You're the number 1 recruit of all time based on ranking. You like Michigan. Michigan is 15 minutes from your house. They win the national championship. And what happens to Michigan's recruiting? We get 2 decommitments and like 7 kids portal out.
And the number 1 recruit in the next class goes to a school 20 hours away instead of the school 15 minutes down the road.
Go Tigers. But look, right? So you have guys that wanted to come to Michigan that couldn't. You had guys that, like, there was some straight up people like the guy's jersey I'm wearing right now that asked for, hey, Jim, are you going to be there next year? And they couldn't give him an answer. So then you buy a house in California. You get a little sweet little puppy with a ring on it, and you propose to your girlfriend. So cute, by the way. I didn't know that she went to Michigan State. That's pretty interesting. So shout out Katia. Her birthday was the other day. Same with JJ, who just turned 21, which is crazy how young he is. Makes me feel old. And yeah, so that happened. They left. Pretty much everyone was expected to leave left. I think Trente Jones, who's our 6-man offensive lineman who came in at right tackle the last 2 games, played really well against Dallas Turner, against Braylon Trice. So 2 like first-round guys he played really well against. I thought he was going to come back and like anchor our D-line, our offensive line next year. He's gone, so that was pretty interesting. We lost 6 of those guys. AJ Barner, gone. Cornelius Johnson, gone. Roman Wilson, gone. Blake Corum, obviously gone. Donovan Edwards did stay. I thought if anyone was going to leave, it'd be him. So he stayed. Good for him. Got a massive Raising Cane's deal, and apparently there is talks of an Ann Arbor Canes. So maybe the best news out there. It's probably going to hurt you, Zach, with Donovan coming back. But if there's a Canes closer to both of our houses, that's pretty sick. So
what do you mean? What do you mean he's going to hurt us coming back?
You're going to have to play Donovan next year.
Yeah, do I need to pull?
Well, he doesn't.
Yeah, do I need to pull up the stats from the MSU game where he averaged?
You're right. He only does good against coaches.
0.3 yards rush.
If you look at his stats, dude.
I'm just going to say this.
Yes.
I wish everyone would have come back. I really do.
Well, you hate to see that JJ finishes 3-0. But you look at the stats with seriously, look at Donovan's stats by top 10 teams and not. It's hilarious. He does nothing unless you're a top 10 team. He's like, this isn't even worth my time. He's like simming on Madden, and he's like, oh, this is a big game. I'll play this. But apparently he had crazy expectations for himself, and like he had like wicked mental problems middle of the season. Like he got like super depressed because he was like doing absolutely nothing. Like I remember against Indiana, he was trying to score a touchdown, and like they forced him off on the inch line. The stat pad for Corum, which was sad. But I don't know if any of us had Donovan in fantasy. I'm sorry if that was, but he's back. JJ obviously leaves. A bit surprising. I kind of thought he might have had one more year development. Apparently he got a promise from a team that rhymes with the Seattle Seahawks. So that's cool. McDonald's out there too. People are saying it's the next Brady and Belichick potentially. I don't know. I mean, it could happen. But and then obviously what happens after that? You get the standoff between Harbaugh and Ward Manuel. People are going to tell you that this contract existed. These two can vouch. That I told them, at least one of them, if not both, that the contract never happened. There was never a contract on the table. Now we know that Angelique, if you're following Michigan news, if you're not following John Bacon and Angelique, those are your two people for official Michigan news. Obviously, the beat guys are great, but those two are the official guys or gal and guy. So Angelique put out a thing talking to Harbaugh at DTW on his way to the Chargers that he did not get the contract until the last second. He already basically signed with the Chargers by the time he got the contract. That being said, the contract was nuts, right? It was a $16 million a year with an escalator clause. So the Bill Self deal where anytime if you get suspended, they keep your money. You get like half pay for however long you're suspended, whatever it is. In addition to no firing because of the NCAA stuff. So he could be like, NCAA like, hey, he signs an 8-year contract. NCAA can like, hey, here's an 8-year show clause. And Michigan would have to eat that. With them already paying out their money due to the, bad stuff that happened on campus, they're already paying out too much. So they don't want to be doing 2 buyouts, right? Then you look at everything else. He'd been the highest paid coach no matter what. So you could just pay some guy 1 year, $20 million just to screw Michigan, like out of fun. Like if maybe Ohio State's like, hey, we're going to give Ryan Day a 1 year, $20 million extension. Michigan would have to pay Jim 21 in perpetuity type deal. So that'd been actually pretty funny if the team did that. But so he was kind of screwed with that one. So the contract did happen. Was it too little too late? Yes. Did Jim probably want to go to the NFL regardless? Probably. Was that leaked to save their own asses in terms of the regions and the board? Yes.
Yep.
Will it? Not on my watch. I will do everything in my power. Because it's funny talking to Ohio State fans, and I know this isn't necessarily fit you in specific, Michael, but everyone's talking about how we got Gene gone. We're back. Gene I would take right now over Ward. Every aspect.
I will do this. Okay, so Gene did not stick up for Jim Tressel. He did not stick up for Urban Meyer when shit went down.
Imagine not sticking up for your coach getting railroaded.
But he did it for 2, and then he didn't stick up for Thad Matta, and he ran Thad Matta out of town.
God, that's the worst one, but yes.
Yeah.
Like, Thad Matta had us in the Elite 8 and Final 4 every other year.
And now we don't even have to talk about what
which is crazy for a team who literally just not good ever.
Well, can't beat Michigan, and they're 7-14 now.
Yeah, it's not good. Michigan's won 1 game in the last 2 months, and it was Ohio State. So pretty funny. Which now means Michigan has won the last 3 basketball matchups, women's basketball matchups, and football matchups. Let's go blue. I don't know if women's stands anymore because Ohio State's a juggernaut right now. So
is not
probably since then they've probably won.
But not stand anymore.
Yeah, I was gonna say, since then probably. But so Jim's gone, brings with him Jesse Minner. Okay, less than ideal. My dream was to make Minner the head coach for at least a year, so you can kind of like get everything under wraps, or at least pay him stupid money to stay. Obviously, he's not there. He then took Herbert, our strength conditioning coach, major loss. Like, I had a full-on panic breakdown on Twitter, basically just spamming Ward Manuals. I didn't have an account. Spamming Santa, spamming the regions. I was even talking to one guy that was trying to run for region on Twitter. I was like, bro, let me run your campaign. I'll get you elected in 2 seconds. You get that goddamn guy out of here. So obviously, is it all on Ward? No. Could Ward have solved the situation months ago? Yes. Apparently, the line that was crossed was when Chris Partridge, the linebackers coach, was apparently coaching up players before interviews and with the NCAA and Big Ten, and one of the kids cracked or allegedly, and they found out that he was telling them beforehand, and Ward fired him before talking to Jim, which is a crazy move, I think. He literally fired one of his guys. You're done. And it's like, whoa, we haven't even talked about, we haven't even had an internal investigation, nothing. So like, he raised a crazy statement. And mind you, he was at Ole Miss and he got Nick Bugnosin out of nowhere. So he's got a great eye for talent. He helped recruit Rashawn Gary. He helped recruit like Jabril Peppers. He kind of was like our Jersey, East Coast type guy. Any big recruiting win in the Harbaugh era, there's few and far between, was him. So it was a major loss. And apparently that was the last straw because Jim was pissed that no one had his back in 2020. Granted, I was tweeting Fire Harbaugh too. So none of us had his back. And he now was pissed that everyone was on his side after he finally did it. And they're like, oh my God, Jim, we believed in you. No, you didn't. That was what his mind was. So anyone that knows Jim, dude's a lunatic. So Jim's gone. Obviously, it was Sharon Moore. Duh. It was going to happen. Should there have been a national coaching search? Probably.
Yes. 100%.
Apparently, DeBoer was interested, allegedly. I was just saying no because I thought Jim was going to stay. I thought it was funny. That was the Wisconsin. The Washington fans try to have their own out on why they played so bad was that he was talking to Michigan and Alabama to be the next coach. I'm like, sure. Okay, buddy. Would DeBoer have been good here? Yes. Would we have lost the entire roster and the culture? Yes. Was Sharon hired primarily to keep the roster intact? I unfortunately think probably, which is a little interesting, right? Because we got to get real for a minute here, Michigan fans. All right, we got to get real. All right, I don't want to get canceled or anything, but we got to get real. Sharon was the head coach for the Maryland game, for the Penn State game, for the Ohio State game, right? Was he?
No.
Technically. Did he coach every day of the week? No. Did
No.
he game prep? No. Which game did he game prep? Bowling Green. Anything happen in that game?
JJ
We're not even
threw
talk about it.
1, 2,
The best defense we played from the
3
state of
picks.
Ohio was in that game. Okay. Moving forward. Penn State. We ran the ball 35 times like Bo. You also punted 6 or 7 times. That game was won by Jesse Minner, Rod Moore, Keon Sabb. I forgot which one of our damn safeties. We have so many good safeties. I forgot which one of them ripped the ball out. Might have been Quentin Johnston. One of those guys. Someone ripped the ball out. Okay?
Yeah.
That was when the game was won. The defense won the championship and won every damn game. Okay? We held everyone under 24 points. Okay? That's insane in modern college football. Granted, the clock's running. Shut up. You then go to the Ohio State game. I think I could have coached and won that game. Those players were possessed, okay? They were not going to lose that football game, okay? In fact, I think the play call when we went for it to end the game was horrible. We're running it again. What are we doing? Spread a 5 wide or 4 wide, whatever. We don't need to get X's and O's. So in the biggest opportunities, yes, he won the games. You know, is it on paper as his win? No. Am I going to say he won them for narrative purposes? Of course. Like earlier today.
But did he win them?
Yes,
No.
exactly. One of our good friends in the chat was like, not many coaches have a good record against top 10 teams. And I go, Sharon Moore, 2-0, bang! Like, you know, because it's fun, right? But it's interesting. Now, as I said in my other video quickly, is there an opportunity for an upgrade here? Absolutely. Could this be an upgrade over Jim? I think there's about a 50% shot, just either yes or no. I don't know the probability, especially, that this could be a higher over Jim. Absolutely. Jim just didn't recruit, straight up. Okay, all of our recruiting big wins were from Sharon, right? He's already going after the Notre Dame guy to be the recruiter. I'll say the name now because it's probably going to happen by the time it comes out. The Iowa State guy we're trying to get right now, the talent guy to be our GM. So, you know, shout out all the Iowa State freaks that are out there, you know, big corn dudes like the Midwest. And then you got every once in a while a Brock Purdy or Breece Hall type deal. We'll see if that happens. But we're going to start recruiting now. So watch out, people. Michigan's going to be on recruit watch. And hopefully it's not like basketball where every 5-star kid's got Michigan as a third option. Okay, we're back.
But here's the big but.
Starting to recruit, and we'll see what happens.
Here's the big but. Ready? Big but. If there is one person that it can stand in the way from this working out, it is the man that you've already mentioned. And he could say, I want to elevate all coordinators from inside, and then you're just totally fucked.
Now listen, our D coordinator position is not going great. We're trying to figure that out. Offensive coordinator, we're trying to figure it out. People have this narrative that it's because we're going to get suspended in the death penalty. That's not happening, okay? We're going to get like a fine and scholarships. Who cares? And I know it doesn't matter.
But yeah, if they just say like...
You talk about the wrong guy. All right, we're going to have a nice heart-to-heart here, Mr. Ward. Ward, what's it called? Ward Manual.
Ward.
Whatever.
Ward.
I said like Emmanuel, Ward Manual. I think it's Emmanuel. Is it? No, it's not. Ward Manual, whatever. Here's the deal, buddy. Sharon Moore, right? We're trying to set up a great thing here. He wants to recruit. Sharon has talked to people allegedly, this is all alleged, of course, that have millions of dollars waiting to absolutely unload the money cannon. All right. This is old money. This is like what Ohio State did, like old money. I want to beat everyone at all costs type deal. Like, I got FU money. I'd rather go to you than Biden. So let's spend some money. Let's have some fun. Right. Ward Manuel comes out and says, I like our NIL strategy and we're not going to change it. Are you insane? You've got players openly talking about how bad the NIL is, and we've got players that have multiple offers in their inbox from in conference, some of them, and they're following people on Twitter, all right? This could get bad very quickly. Thankfully, we're about a week in, and we haven't gotten any big names in the portal. We have some fifth string D tackle. I couldn't care less. Leave, whatever. We've had no one enter, right? So in a sense, you've kept the culture together because our defense is probably going to be number 1, number 2 again in the country. We brought basically everyone back. Mikey's gone. Cool. What's it called? You have Barrett's gone, Colston's gone, and Chris Jenkins is gone, right? Our D tackles are still there. Our front is still there. Our safeties are all still there. Will Johnson, the best defender in college football, is still there, right? And now it's time to hit the portal. Is the spring portal good? Absolutely not. Is it enough time to get guys up to the speed? Probably not. Does Michigan have a cupcake schedule? We have Texas week 2. Okay? So this is probably the worst year that could have happened with this late time thing, but we're going to need to hit the portal hard, which is already hard enough because of our high admission standards. Because we are Michigan. We are an Ivy League school. You have to come and think. If kids from Stanford are having problems getting into the school and getting their transfers, their credits to come through, we've got a major issue on our hands because I'm telling you right now, there's not many Stanford quality athletes that have the grades and the bills to get into Michigan. Okay. That's BS. Let's relax. All right. You let me in that building and I'll make sure everything happens. We'll have the well-oiled machine going. But do you have the mass exodus you have of Washington? No. Do you have the mass exodus you have of Alabama? No. Is anyone really going to leave? I'd be pretty shocked if anybody really left because the NIL strategy for Michigan the whole time was retention. We had that embarrassing graphic where it was donate so other teams won't steal our players.
Yeah.
What the hell is that all about?
And it was a million.
I know Michigan trying to dry snitch on other teams, but come on.
Wait. So first off, it was $1 million is what they were trying to raise, and this is the best part. During the national championship game, it hit 600,000, and they said if we get to $1 million by the end of this game, we'll match the $1 million with a donor, and it went up $10,000 over the course of the game.
Sorry, we were busy winning a championship, Zachary.
I will let you know this, that there was the day after you won the Rose Bowl, our NIL fund had $2 million put in it.
Yeah, I know. It's what it look, right? We won the championship. We need to just chillax, okay?
But the thing is, you guys lit a fire under our ass.
I told you earlier. The game was like heroin for the Cotton Bowl. All right, so here's the deal, right, with Michigan. Could this be better than Jim? Yes. Does it hinge almost entirely on the coordinators? Probably. Is that front looking good right now? No. And it's just Jim is so mad at Ward. He is taking everyone. I'm telling you right now, he offered to double the lunch lady's salary. I'm not even kidding. Our nutritionist was about to get offered. We have our strength coach going to the NFL where strength coaches do nothing in the NFL. They clean weights. They don't do them. They don't tell you to lift because, you're going to go tell Derwin James and Cleo Mack how to do your bench press? Are you kidding me? Okay. So he's gone, right? Now you look at the rest of the thing. So you got to hit the portal crazy well. You got to do the coordinators great. Who the hell is the quarterback? Okay. Are we really going to run Alex Orji out there and try to do some 1970s? Would it be electric? Absolutely. If I was a non-Michigan fan, I'd hope that happens because that'd be hell as fun to watch. Michigan just runs the ball 70 times a game. I think it'd be hilarious. Do I think we should do it as a trick play against Texas and just not throw the ball and just run on their throats because they got no defensive front? Yes. Is it going to work in the long term? No. So everyone is asking for a record prediction. Everyone's asking for predictions. Brother, I have 0 coordinators and 0 quarterback. What do you want me to do?
We'll do that after the spring.
We could buy, I don't know, some crazy stuff could happen. We could have Tom Brady get bought out, be the OC. We could have freaking Charles Woodson as the DC. And then we could bring in Arch Manning as quarterback and I think win the championship, right? Or we could promote internally and have Jason Denegal as our quarterback and we'll go 7-5. I don't know what's going on. The variance is crazy. Is it fun? Sure. Do I have any other sports to root for? No. Basketball sucks. Hockey's sucking. The Wings can't beat Ottawa. Things are happening.
Hey, it was one game. It was one game. It was one game.
Hey.
You forgot about the Pistons, though.
Wait, yeah. What the Pistons do last night?
Who's that? So look, right? Yes, it's a very fluid situation at University of Michigan. Am I excited for going forward? Yes. I did say if the Lions ended up winning a Super Bowl, I was going to retire as a sports fan, because how would you beat a championship and a Super Bowl in the same year? I think that's happened to 5 people ever. Because no Boston teams have colleges. I guess Michigan people, not even Michigan, because they weren't good back then. Whatever. Unless you're an Ohio State, New England fan. Oh God, I could only imagine that person. What, Bill O'Brien? Whoa. But it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be very fun. I'm excited for the season. Obviously, I'm always excited. I'm excited for the spring game to see what happens. There's a few options out there. Obviously, I said Jordan McLeod. I think would be interesting. Caton Salter from Liberty would be interesting. I don't know. It's cool. We're gonna recruit though. It'll be fun. Off season will be fun again. But what am I gonna do with myself in December and January when I'm not worried about my coach leaving every day? I don't have to have the Schefter and the Rappaport notifications on anymore. I can just relax. Because the one thing is great is Sharon's 30, 38, I think it is. So he's super young. He's going to be there forever. He gets it, right? He's been there the whole time. He's from our sister school, Central Michigan. He's doing his thing. Excited. It's going to be different. Is there a chance it blows up spectacularly like it did last time? Probably. Could it be better than it was before? Yes. So again, I don't know what's going to happen. It's going to be great. It's kind of almost liberating not to have ridiculous expectations. Because this year I did it and everyone else did it the whole time, where it was we need to win at all costs. Everything relies on this, everything. Right. So now this is what it's got to be if you're Michigan, right? This is the closest you'll get to record prediction out of me. You're going to win 9 games, right? And then you got 3 really big games. You got to win the 9 easy games, right? Including USC. I know that's the sexy thing from Ohio State fans, is to tell me that we're going to lose USC at home. Miller Moss, give me a fucking break. Because again, our defense is unbelievable. We might Iowa people to death, okay? Iowa's defense was really good and they won 10 games. Granted, Big Ten West, whatever. I digress. You need to win one of the 3 games. All right?
But
obviously, in order of winnability, I think it's Texas, Oregon, Ohio State. I don't believe in Oregon. I don't think anyone should believe in Oregon. They remind me of Nebraska in a weird way. I don't think obviously they're going to be as bad as Nebraska, but they don't win games. Brother, you can't beat Washington. And we watched what happened in Washington, played a real Big Ten team. Okay? Obviously, they've gotten better. Dan Lanning's getting better. He's weird, by the way. Have we talked about how weird Dan Lanning is?
No.
He reminds me of James Franklin. We'll get there later. But Texas, I think, is a sneaky, easier game to win. I think that they're going to get crazy offseason hype. They lost a ton, dude. Both D tackles, a bunch of defense, all their receivers. You return Quinn Ewers. And again, last thing I'll say on Texas, because I don't even talk about Ohio State because that game's a daunting task at the moment.
It's 302 days away.
Right? You're going to play. Is Arch Manning really going to spend 2 of his 3 years in college on the bench? Anyone else have anything to add?
I don't know. I think he redshirted last year, maybe.
Yeah, he redshirted last year.
He'll go to the draft after 3 years.
Yeah, but he's still. Oh, yeah.
I don't wait. Why would he be waiting college? Get the pros, man.
Well, you have to wait if you redshirt.
No, you don't.
Oh, you don't?
You can be a redshirt sophomore and leave. Are you this bored with me and Blake right now that you're tearing your headset apart?
No, they come apart.
Oh,
they're magnetic.
But
I was damn, Sparty over here is very upset and very bored.
I'm not.
Great Ohio State Michigan talk over here.
Just not feeling the best still. I still in the flu.
I will just say this. So you're saying that your expectations aren't that high this year?
No.
Man, couldn't be our program any year.
It is what it is. It's shout out Ryan Day for busting all over pause. Title or bust, and all Buddy does is fire blanks. So
hey, but hey,
Hey,
at least we have that every
he
single year.
has to win this year. He has to do it.
He has
look,
to
I
win
can
this
say
year.
I can say this because we won the national championship. I have 132 teams this year. You just need to beat all 132. It is what it is. Easier said than done. Been there, done that.
132 versus 1.
Yeah, I'm rooting for every other team. Let's go.
Yep.
They got to win out. I'm gonna say they got to go undefeated and win out.
Absolutely, we do.
I mean, you'll be favored. Probably
16-0.
they might get cute and make you an underdog against Oregon. In which case,
They
that'll
are.
be my preemptive.
They are.
Is the line out?
Oh yeah, we're an underdog.
That is my preemptive first betting game of the year. Ohio State money line. I don't do this shit. Listen, Michigan fans like to get cute, and they said y'all got to go 9-3 last year. I predict you 11-1 every year.
Actually, yeah, it's even.
By the way, I'm
Even.
going to say a prediction because we have never made a trip to Oregon, and I know there are going to be a ton of Ohio State fans at that game.
Did you guys know that their stadium's only 50,000 seats?
Yeah, I know. It's only 56,000 seats.
What?
I hate Oregon so much that I sneaky almost might root for them not to win.
Yeah.
That's how much I hate Oregon.
They only have 56,000 people in their stadium. Yeah. Like they legit had, so they were given by Ohio State 15,000 seats when they came to Ohio Stadium, and we're going to be given 5,000 tickets from them because they only require a 10% or less requirement. So Oregon decided to give us 5,000 tickets for students, family, our band, everything.
That's so. Why is it so small? What?
I mean, and here's the thing: they don't
spend too much money on players.
Well, here's the thing: the way it's built as well, they don't have much availability to make like upgrades to expand it. Like it's built weird to the point where it's like a weird shaped bowl. Yeah, it's like a very weird stadium. I mean, I'm just going to say this. I think that Michigan's going to be fine. I think they're still going to be top part of the Big Ten. They had a lot of players at state, obviously. The recruiting classes weren't terrible. The one thing they did miss out on this year,
great class this year.
Yeah, but your transfer portal wasn't great.
Exactly.
You're usually really good on the transfer portal.
Yeah, they just need to figure out a quarterback. That's the big thing.
3 kids that were all but signed up.
Yep.
They all left because they asked about Harbaugh, and Harbaugh said, I don't know.
And
that's the cause.
So if we're looking at next year, I mean,
we'll have predictions before the season.
Yeah, I know we will. I think it's going to be interesting. Let's get through the spring. Let's get through the sunny day.
All for the Oregon bait. I pray for all of those that gamble that watch this beloved podcast. If you fall for the Oregon bait again,
look,
shame on you.
We need to go.
And
we
Penn
need to
State,
look.
Okay, Oregon, Penn State on crack.
Wait, okay. So do you think Ohio State's making the Big Ten title right now at this moment?
Absolutely.
Yes, they have.
Who are they playing? Who are they playing? Say it right now. Because it's down to the 2 teams that you just mentioned, probably.
I don't know. I think Big Ten sucks next year. I think Michigan can make the Big Ten title game at 10-2.
I don't think I want to see a neutral site game with Ohio State and Michigan.
Me neither, because back-to-back, they'll change it. That'd be the worst case scenario.
I know. And not only just back-to-back.
For the good of the conference,
I
will relinquish myself from the title game.
I don't.
It sucks that we play you because I think if Michigan State didn't play Michigan, you'd have a chance at legit. That's just
we have such a weird schedule.
I will say this: if it's Ohio State, Michigan in Indy again with the neutral site kind of game, that is not.
If you ask me right now, I'm saying Penn State. Sorry, they have too easy a schedule.
Penn State has a really easy schedule. They do. They play Ohio State.
Such an easy schedule that they can do it. They really can do it.
They literally play Ohio State at home.
I think Penn State might beat you in the regular season on some bullshit, and then you kick their ass in championship game. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. It absolutely does. Because
they'll win some bullshit like Julian Fleming 80-yard touchdown pass, and you'll beat them by 50 in the championship.
You do remember the last time they beat us, right?
Correct.
The block field goal. It was a block field goal.
You think I forget? You lost like 10 games in like 6 years or like 20 years. Of course, I remember your losses.
It was a blocked field goal, which I'm going to say this. Speaking of that, one thing I will say, and I didn't even realize this, and I guess because of how spoiled I am as an Ohio State fan, we've made a New Year's Six bowl every year since the playoff has started.
What's bowl games? I think does Michigan State have as many New Year's Six bowl games as we do? Since the playoff?
Probably.
It's probably close.
Yeah, maybe.
Because we've only had the last 3 years. Oh, I know we beat the Citrus Bowl.
We've had let's see, the Cotton Bowl, the Peach Bowl, the playoff.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
It's a very interesting debate, but it's like it's something like it's me as an Ohio State fan. Like I look back at it and I'm like, holy crap! Like we are literally that spoiled of a fan base.
I'm saying, you guys don't even go up below 500. You don't have any fun, okay? Like where me and Zach are like, I'll do anything for a win. You know how much fun that is as a fan? It makes winning the championship that much better. Because you guys, it's almost like a sigh of relief when you win. Me, it was just tears. Passion.
No. Trust me, you won 3 in a row, and 302 days can't get here quick enough.
I'm just trying to figure out the one thing I just want to know is who's going to be our last team that we play this year. Like we have an open spot now. Louisiana, Lafayette dropped out, and now we have an open spot. I just want to know who we're going to play. It's been 3 weeks. They said once the contract's finalized, it's supposed to be finalized anytime soon. We'll find if it's Notre Dame, dude. I
will wear all green to that game.
So happy. I'd be so happy.
Who are you going to root for when you wear all green?
Oh, Michigan State. Sorry, I didn't. That's pretty funny. Yes, all Michigan State, dude. Notre Dame, I hate more than Michigan State.
I don't know. It would just be like.
Let's see here. Bowl games, Michigan. 1, 2, 3. 3. I don't count the title game. 3.
So then
4.
Title game. Then yeah, they have technically
5.
You've been to 5 BCS national champion or BCS games or New Year's Six games or whatever.
5 New Year's Six games, yeah.
You've been to 5? When?
2016 Orange Bowl, we lost to Dalvin Cook by 1.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Peach Bowl against Florida, we got hubbed, lost 41-15. I don't even remember that game.
I
swear to God, I don't remember that game. Was that Felipe Franks?
Was that 2015?
No, it's 2018. I don't remember a second of this game. What?
Which was the first?
Yeah, Felipe Franks. Felipe Franks, Emory Jones, Kadarius Toney, Jamian Pierce. That was Shea Patterson.
Oh, that was the year that the Big Ten kind of got hosed because we won the Big Ten and we didn't make it to the playoffs.
Who scored for us? Donovan Peoples-Jones and Jake Moody. Oh, wow. Freshman Jake Moody.
Oh, Jake Moody. He almost helped us out so much on Sunday.
Oh, God. Yeah, this game stunk. Felipe Franks for Shea Patterson and New Year's Six Bowl? Oh, God.
Okay.
I don't even remember a snap of this game.
Let's just say this is how bad the Big Ten was. Don't forget that year that you guys came into Columbus 8-0 in the already having clinched a share of the Big Ten East.
Wow. Yeah, crazy, dude.
I mean, that's how bad the Big Ten was. Dude, you beat Penn State 42-7 earlier in the season in that 2018 season. And you cakewalked everybody.
Penn State's my favorite team to play. We just kill them. Well, that was old Harbaugh. We'd cover the spread against every team and then get murdered by Ohio State. That was early Harbaugh. Then we invented COVID and started cheating. Suck it, nerds. And the best part is Ohio State is cheating, and we're going to figure out soon what happens to all the NIL cheaters.
Sure they are.
Tennessee screwed. Florida and Florida State screwed.
We will talk about that in the next podcast.
Yeah, I figured. All right. Closing thoughts. I'm looking at the hockey stuff here. I might be making a trip to Detroit next weekend for the Duel in the D. That is TBD.
Yeah, I might too.
Be the first time Michigan's been an underdog in God knows how long.
Great series so far. Yeah.
It was split. Yeah, it was 7-1. Great. And then we
Yeah, I
won.
witnessed it.
And we won 4-1 the other game. So we won both games. We're 2-0 against Michigan State.
How did you win 4-1?
Middle of the game, Michigan's up 4-1. Zach says, I don't care anymore. And then Michigan State rips off 6 unanswered goals. So in my book, Michigan's 2-0. Cozy can vouch. And then basketball. Yeah, okay. So thank you all for watching.
Hey, I mean, we can talk about Ohio State, who hasn't won a conference game yet, technically.
This is crazy. You guys are 13-8 on the season, and you're 3-7 in the Big Ten.
Yeah. Yep.
Michigan is 7-14.
Extend Ward.
Started 4-0, and I shit you not. I was looking up where the Final Four was. That team was awesome. Then Doug stopped doing homework. I don't know if you even know this part of the whole thing, Cozy. Our best player, Doug McDaniel, the midget, he flunked out of all of his classes for the second time. He only plays home games now.
Yeah, they put him on a suspension.
How insane is that? Like, do you understand how unserious of an athletic department we have to run? We have our coach assaulting the strength conditioning guy. We've got one kid that can't pass Algebra 2. He's now only playing home games.
Hold on. Let me
and then Trey Jackson's wearing a Hannibal Lecter mask against Michigan State.
And they lose by 19.
I know that's bad.
After being up
I know that's bad. I know that's bad. But you know what's worse is that our basketball team for the second year in a row. No. Our basketball team for the second year in a row has performed very well when it has to play at home sometimes and in non-conference play. I mean, they have a win against Alabama this year, which was in the Emerald Coast Classic. We played Texas A&M, which Zach was there for that, and that was just miserable. And we only lost by 7.
Shout out Julius.
And then we beat UCLA. We beat West Virginia. We started off the year good. We won a game against Rutgers, who, look, Rutgers is not great this year. But then you have, and then the whole downfall came. Indiana, awful. Lose with blow a lead against Wisconsin, awful. Blow a lead, literally get blown out in the first half, come back against Michigan, and then blow the lead again.
Oh.
And then at least you beat Penn State at home. Thank God. But then you get blown out at Nebraska, and then the worst came. Chris Holtmann should have never been able to leave Chicago after that game against Northwestern. We were down by almost 40 points at one point. 40 points to Northwestern.
Hey, shout out.
They're very good.
A,
they're very
they
good. They
should
showed
be
them last night.
B, their coach last night, Cozy. I was watching this game live.
He ran onto the court.
You know the plane meme where the guy's like, I want to shake your hand.
Yeah.
I want to shake your hand. So
Yes.
he got tossed mid-game. Well, mid-game. It was like
He
5
ran
seconds left
onto
now,
the court after a foul.
Runs on the court and starts screaming in the rest face. He tees him up, and then he's getting escorted out of the building, and then just drags the guys escorting him and shakes the hand of every player.
Yeah, he goes up to Matt Painter, shakes.
Let me shake your hand.
Looks up to Zach Edey, goes, "Let me shake your hand," and then
actually a really cool clip.
And then he started cheering on the crowd as he's leaving the arena, and then. Oh my God!
But dude, the free throw disparity. Northwestern shot 6 free throws. Purdue had 48.
48 to 6. To 6.
And they lost it. They won it overtime.
They won overtime.
Oh my God! Boo Booey, by the way. Electric Factory.
Oh, electric.
And then how is the Final Four favorite Spartans doing?
Nah, well, we're kind of just coasting. Gonna make the tournament as like a 7 seed or an 8 seed. Coasting.
Wait, I thought you guys were supposed to be top 5.
Hey, we're the number 1 team in hockey, by the way.
They're the second best odds to win the national championship, Cozy.
Yeah. But our value to get to the Final Four.
I know you don't really get Michigan State Twitter sometimes, but there was a tweet put out there that people were agreeing with that what if Michigan wins the football championship and Michigan State wins the basketball championship? Would everyone agree? And we're like, no, fuck off.
Well, that's not including everyone on Twitter yet, but I mean,
Michigan State will find life. They'll do their thing. They'll probably win the Big Ten tournament because that's just how this works, and then they will lose in the second weekend.
Yeah, well, whatever. I don't care. Tomorrow I'm going to Notre Dame, so it'll be interesting.
No,
you go to Notre Dame?
Yeah.
Ooh, have fun. Northwestern.
Maybe. Not 100% sure.
Northwestern.
So just letting you know.
No, Northwestern. My hot take here: Northwestern wins the Big Ten tournament.
I mean, Bowie gets hot, bro. They are tough to guard.
And makes the Elite Eight.
Ooh. They almost did last year, right? They won like 2 games, I think.
I'm pretty sure they did.
I don't know.
They've had booty ball last year.
But
no,
I just want to make the CBI at this point. That's what we're at.
I want us to lose out so we don't make anything.
Well, here I'll give you the blueprint of how to argue with basketball teams. Would you rather be selected or invited to something?
Selected.
I want you to think about that one.
I'm not.
That was the NIT debate last year. And then we freaking lost to Vanderbilt. Can we get serious?
We all witnessed it. T. Will had 4 turnovers in 30 seconds.
T. Will was going at it with people's going at it. T. Will's dad was going at it with people in Twitter Spaces with Ant.
Oh, it was great. That was hilarious.
All right. Well, any closing thoughts, gentlemen?
No, we're done. We'll see you guys in the spring.